what I want you to do here is look at this picture and try to figure out who you think you might be in this picture, okay? I think most people would say that they were like the big person. If we look at our life, often we think of us in the middle of our life. If we were to make a film, we would be the star and everybody else in our life would be like the extra actors, you know, the people who just have the small role. When Paul was on one of his missionary journeys, he ended up in a town called Philippi. And so it's probable that Paul started a church there with the Philippian jailer and this lady called Lydia and maybe some of the other prisoners and maybe members of their families. And so the church grew. Paul couldn't keep an eye on all the churches that he'd started. And what he would do is he would write letters to them to encourage them. He said, you guys are doing really well. You seem to have understood what it means to become a Christian. Becoming a Christian is no longer just being all about ourselves. Becoming a Christian means that somebody else becomes more important and even bigger in our lives. Who are we talking about? Sia?
God?
God, well, Jesus, yeah. Jesus should become the most important thing. On one occasion, Jesus, as an adult, came to where John the Baptist was. And John the Baptist, when he saw Jesus, said, I must decrease in order that he increases. Do you know what decrease and increase mean? What does it mean, Jonathan?
Humble yourself and put somebody else in a further up position.
It does mean that. Yeah, that's good. Humble yourself and put somebody else in a further up position. But what John the Baptist was saying was simply, I've got to become smaller so that Jesus can become bigger. My job now isn't just to say to everybody, hey, look at me, 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 me. It's now about, look at him, him, him. But Paul says, and I want you to take this further, I want you to follow the example of Jesus. Jesus didn't come to be worshipped and to be glorified and to be praised and to be bowed down to. He came to this earth, and Philippians chapter 2 says, he was found in appearance as a
humble man.
As a man, yeah. He made himself nothing. Instead of being high and lifted up, Jesus says, I'm going to come down and serve everybody. And he's not going to do it by being the king. He's going to do it by making himself nothing. And now he comes down as a human to become less than everybody else. He lives a humble life, he lives a poor life, and eventually he allows himself to be treated as a criminal. How does he serve us?
He dies on the cross.
He comes to serve us by, exactly as you said, Asiya, dying on the cross. That's what he does. Yeah. Well, we can't die on a cross to pay for the sins of the world. Only Jesus could do that. But he is still saying that we need to follow his example. What can we do?
Kindness.
Kindness. Putting the needs of others first. Considering others more important than ourselves. And what we need to do is the same thing. We need to lower ourselves and get down to that place where we can perhaps not think of ourselves as being great, but instead serve those around us. We serve other people. We think about their needs ahead of our own, which means that we don't argue and fight and grumble. It means we rejoice in God. And he says if we do that, if everybody's putting other people's needs ahead of their own, something special is going to happen in the church. Now, I think it was already happening, but he's wanting them to go on and carry on and to even get better at what they're doing. He says if everybody's putting other people before themselves, there's going to be a real unity in the church. Do you know what unity means? What's unity?
Like close relationship.
Close relationships, people liking each other, people getting on with each other, togetherness. That wonderful sense that, hey, this is a nice, peaceful, safe place to be because nobody is trying to boss anyone else around. Nobody's trying to claim that they're the most important. And when that happens, when everybody's at peace with each other and everybody's thinking about how they can help others, there's this wonderful sense of unity. And this is what he says. Paul says, if you do this, you will shine like stars. Now, if you said to somebody in the world, how do you shine like a star? They'd probably say, well, I want to win American Idol. I want to be a great sports star. I want everybody to know me. I want my name up in lights. I want everybody to say, oh, look at that person, they're so great. But Jesus says, no, greatness and shining like a star doesn't come through you being the best of everybody. It comes through people noticing how much you serve other people. And then, because that's such a rare thing these days, people will notice this little light in the darkness of you doing good things and showing what Jesus Christ is like when he lives in somebody's heart. That's how we shine like stars. Everyone who exalts themselves will be humbled, but he or she who humbles themselves, they're the ones that God will exalt.